I was born and brought up in Mauritius. Did 18 years back home, like everybody else. And there's one person for the first 18 years of my life has had an incredible impact on me. My dad taught me two things in my life. The first thing I've heard for the first 15 years of my life was there are two types of people in the world: leaders and followers. Second thing he taught me was no matter what you do, make sure you're financially completely independent. And I'm going to reach out to all fathers out there. Please do the same to your daughters. Then I got a scholarship to go to Australia. Dad was really happy, but a little bit concerned my little girl's going out. My mom, on the other hand, was, when is she starting her life? Because in her mind, getting married and having kids was success. It was very different from my idea of success. And I looked at her and I remember saying, my life starts now when I take that plane and I get out. 2 years in, finished, sold it, but then I realized I had a third world country passport. I looked for jobs. And I remember I looked and I applied for every consulting firm there was out there. And everybody came back and said no. And interestingly enough, a week later, I had a full-time job with GE. Actually heading up, pretty much looking at the whole cross-sell around the 11 different GE businesses of how do you go out and sell one GE versus every single MD going on their own. I did this for a year and then realized I was bored. So looked around and actually realized GE was launching a GE Money brand in the UK, and they needed someone who understood digital, and that was my background. First time I looked at it was 2008 when I first got here. With my hours that I was working at Bain, it was impossible for me to do anything entrepreneurship. At MasterCard, the great thing was my job was 9 to 5. I had a lot of time on my hands. So I started the business on the side. I did not quit my job, and one of the reasons I didn't do this is because I couldn't understand why no one had started it before. There must have been something someone had seen that I hadn't seen. So I took my salary, funded the business for 6 months, then got chosen to go and pitch to investors at ArabNet in Beirut, and that's when I decided to quit my job full-time. And I've been doing Sukalmal ever since for 5 years. But so today, I'm proud to say we are around 35 employees. We are now in the UAE. We've launched Saudi. We're going into Bahrain very soon. And yeah, in the next couple of years, we're hoping to now be the vision of the business in ways to be #1 aggregator in the MENA region. So there's a lot of growth coming up.